The psychological effects on women who have had abortions ranges anywhere from sleeping disorders to substance abuse to even becoming suicidal. As one could suspect, the procedure of getting an abortion can be quite traumatic both on the physical side of things and the psychological side of things. However, while the physical pain may be temporary, the psychological effects of abortion will have a more lasting effect on the woman. Now, this is not all women because not all women suffer from trauma from post abortion, but this is the risk one may have to deal with in the aftermath of an abortion. There have been numerous studies conducted to provide statistics on what psychological effects a woman may be confronted with after she gets an abortion. One study conducted found that women who had abortions are 160% more likely to be hospitalized for psychiatric treatment than a woman who delivers her baby. Researchers have also found that 55% of women who have had abortions felt guilty about their decision, 44% complained of nervous disorders, 36% complained of sleeping disorders, 31% regret their decision to abort, and 11% are on prescription antipsychotics. A study in 2010 studied 3,000 women, and of the 3,000 women studied, the study showed that those who had abortions had a 98% increased risk of suffering from mental disorders, 59% increased risk of having suicidal thoughts, 61% increased risk for mood disorders and anxiety disorders, 261 increased risk for alcohol abuse, and a 280% risk of any substance abuse, whether it be drugs or alcohol. In one study of 500 women who had abortions, researchers found that 50% expressed negative feelings and up to 10% were classified as having developed serious psychiatric complications. In a survey of over 100 women who had suffered from post abortion trauma, 80% expressed feelings of self hatred. In the same study, 49% reported drug abuse and 39% began to use or increase their use of alcohol. Approximately 14% describe themselves as having become addicted to drugs or an alcoholic after their abortion. In addition, 60% reported suicidal ideation, with 28% actually attempting suicide, and of that 28% that attempted suicide, half of them attempted suicide 2 or more times. Now, in this graph here, 22 studies were analyzed. I know this is hard to see, but 22 studies were analyzed, and of those 22 studies, there was an 81% increased risk for psychological disorders in women who have had abortions. Now, up to 33% of women who had abortions develop an intense longing to become pregnant again in order to make up for the lost pregnancy, with 18% succeeding within 1 year of the abortion. Now, we can understand why they would want to replace what was lost, but realistically, they're probably put in the same position that they were before, where they feel like they can't raise a child, or any number of reasons as to why they wanted an abortion. And women who have abortions may temporarily feel relieved about not having the burden of a child, but they end up going into an emotional paralysis where they aren't really able to feel anything or express their emotions. So, if you're somebody who's pregnant and you feel abortion is the only option, seek help. There's people out there that want to help you be able to give birth to your child. They want to help you raise it, or they want to help you find a family who would love to raise your child. There's so many other options. So if you feel like abortion is the only option, talk to somebody. Let them help you research your options, because abortion doesn't have to be the only option. You know, People want to help. And aside from all of the sleeping disorders and depression that may come with it, possibly becoming suicidal, that's just one of the many effects of having an abortion. There's um, physical defects that can come. You can become sterile, not be able to have children. 30 to 50% of women who had abortions complain about not having any pleasure with sex anymore. So the psychological effects are just one of the numerous reasons why abortion should be illegal. You know, there's options to help a woman not have to put herself or her unborn child in harm. So, you know, we should strive to help these women who feel like there's no other option.